We're both like
laughing.
We're both like waiting there
for someone
something.
to do
Yeah,
something.
exactly. And like I couldn't do anything because I was such a little chicken shit.
Hey guys, I'm Mac.
And I'm Jack.
And welcome to our channel. God, we're getting so good at that.
Yeah. Look, no edits this time.
No edits. We totally
we should
got
just do it
this.
a second time just because.
No, I don't want to ruin it.
We should just like slip one of those edit things in there just because.
Just because.
Because it always happens.
Okay. Guys, we are back at you with part 2 of our story. If you guys have not seen the first part, make sure to go check it out of how we actually met, because then this will like make more sense, I feel like. Probably. We left off last time. I'm like throwing the controller at them. We left off last video with letting you guys know that basically after we had our magical prom night together, that sounds like so racy, but it's just like not. Go check out that video if you haven't.
A racy prom night video? What kind of channel is this?
Left off last video talking about how we were texting non-stop. Jack's mom was wondering why the phone bill went up so high. My mom kept asking me who I was texting and I was like, oh, Jack, but I really didn't want to get my hopes up, so I just in my mind was like not going to let it think that we were actually a thing until I knew officially that we were actually a thing.
Yeah, and like we had seen each other, I think 2 times prior to this, right?
Yeah.
We had gone to...
Like while we were texting.
Yeah, we'd gone to like some hypnotist show. And like met up at the school, right?
Yeah.
And like, well, they weren't like, neither of them was date, but this is like when we were texting, we were like, hey, I'm going to this thing. I was like, oh, cool. Like,
I'm going to this
yeah,
thing
I'll
too.
meet you there. Like, I'll see you there. And like, we always made a point to
meet up and actually talk and stuff, but never like holding hands or never.
No, and it was like the typical like high school
Flirty,
interaction.
Awkward.
Like like you talk for like the 5 to 10 minutes after everything's done. You don't kind of acknowledge each other during the show or whatnot.
Yeah.
But then the 5 to 10 minutes after, you kind of like awkwardly are like, hey.
Hey, and then like because you've been texting like non-stop, and then you get it actually in person, and then it's like you guys don't even like know each other.
Yeah, I'm having like an old person thought, like, why didn't they just talk in person? Why did they?
I know. I'm like we were so dumb. We were so dumb.
That's too funny.
But then we were trying to remember how it came about, but throughout just like the texting back and forth, like there were so many moments where like we would like call each other cute, or like it was just so freaking like cringy, but like high school adorable.
High school cringe.
It was like high school cringe. But then I don't know how it came about, and I don't think I'll remember it, but basically...
Oh no, I remember exactly how it went.
What?
I was like, look, Mackenzie.
No, you just...
I'm a man. You're a woman. Let's go on a date.
That is not how that happened at all.
No, it's probably not.
No. Oh, I remember.
Wait, how was that?
We knew, like, you somehow found out that, like, I loved playgrounds.
Yeah,
like, I loved parks,
yeah.
and I loved swings and slides. Like, I loved hanging out, like, in playgrounds and actually, like, playing on the stuff. And then Jack was like, I also really like playgrounds.
Yeah, like, we found out basically we both like playgrounds.
Yeah. One of us or both of us just kind of, like, led to the conversation of, like, we should hang out. We should go to the Groton playground. Yeah, let's go to the park. So in my mind, I don't know about you, but in my mind, I didn't, again, not wanting to get my hopes up, didn't think that this was a date.
Right. And in my mind, I wanted to make it a date. And so in my mind going into this, it definitely was a date because I wanted to make it that way. Playground is not a date. However, you introduce food and suddenly becomes that. So there's a local ice cream shop, kind of burger shop that I knew Mac liked. I had gone there before. They had the best fries and ice cream.
I did.
So we decided to grab ice cream and then head to the park.
But the thing is, like, I not only didn't want to let myself think that it wasn't a date, I also thought that, like, all of our friends were going to.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand that it would, like, only be us at, like, some point in time.
Your subconscious, like, didn't even let it happen. Like,
No.
I remember trying to pay for the ice cream and you're like, you're not paying for me. And it was just, like, so beyond me. I mean, I was like, wait a second, like, hold up.
And I was like, no, like, I'll pay for mine, it's fine. Like, everything about me didn't want to give in to, like, think that this was actually happening.
Yeah, and I remember, like, so, like, we hung out at the park for hours until dark.
Hours.
And, like, we literally just sat around talking, and like sitting on a
Yeah.
bench or like eating
And it was
ice
in
cream.
May, so the fact that like it was dark out when like we finally left the park means it was actually
Oh.
pretty late.
It was late, like it was like I think it was like 10 p.m.
Yeah, probably.
It was 10 p.m. and her mom called, just wondering like, yeah,
Where are you guys?
I know you left the house and you were meeting a boy at the playground. Like, where are ya, kid?
Which was a big deal, actually. The fact
Yeah.
that my parents, because I'm firstborn, my parents weren't strict at all. It's just that like the rule always was out is not a destination. Like they always like I can't say I'm going out, I'm doing this. Like I had to tell them exactly where I was going, etc. But the fact that they let me like go to the playground with they hadn't met you yet.
No.
Like they hadn't met you yet
I
to
hate
like
the
with
original
like
mom.
one person. Like the whole thing was
Yeah.
just like a lot of stuff had to align perfectly to like go and
Exactly.
be there. So we met up for ice cream and I remember like feeling like I want to be super cool and I want to be like super chill about this and like so I got my favorite cookies and cream ice cream.
Oh yeah.
And you got
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road. And so we went to the park to hang out and eat our ice creams. I went to take a bite of my ice cream and it just like went dribbling down my chin.
Yeah, Mac not only eats her food, she like puts it all over herself.
It looked great. I thought it was a great
Yeah, she
accessory
rocked
to
it.
my outfit.
I still thought she was a good one. I was like, we can proceed with the date. It's okay.
So I remember also like texting back and forth and like realizing we had so many things that we wanted to talk to each other about. Like we were going through some stuff. We were like, you know, one of us had lost a family member at that point. Like there were like several things going on that we were like, oh,
Yeah.
we'll have to talk about it when we meet up. We'll have to talk about it when we
Movies
meet up.
we wanted to watch, like different things that like songs that we wanted to share with each other.
Exactly. And so like I ended up making a list of those things.
Yep.
A physical list.
Physical list.
I have that physical list and like we called it the list.
list.
And we just kept adding to it because sneak peek, not to go into it now, but we ended up doing long distance. So of course we had to keep adding to the list of
Oh,
things
yeah.
to talk about like when we got together. So I would say there were like moments throughout our date where it was just like, I was like, this is too good to be true. Again, I was just like, throughout the whole thing, I was like, I don't know if he thinks that this is a date. Like it's too good to be true, it can't be true.
Yeah.
I liked him so much. Like it was just this moment for me because there were like points in high school where I almost dated somebody like, you know, at point A or I almost dated somebody at point B, but nothing ever felt right. And I was, of course, in my high school brain, like, I'm never gonna meet the love of my life. I'm never gonna meet him. But then it was like when Jack and I were texting when we met up and then at this park, it was just this like, I can't describe the feeling. I was like, I found him. Like I didn't know I found my husband.
It was just like, what do you say? It was everything.
It was everything.
No, it was just so comfortable. But like, I think that's what was like kind of like so scary about it. And is why like there were definitely like moments where like you could feel that kind of energy, I guess is the way
There
to
was
describe
so
it.
much chemistry going on.
Yeah, I could feel it, and I think that's what translated into my nervousness and why I didn't actually ask you to be my girlfriend at the
Yeah.
park.
You did?
I chickened out.
Yeah, we literally, there were so many moments sitting on the bench, had his hand like on my leg, or like
Oh
we
my
were
gosh, yeah.
we were sitting near the swing sets and I was leaning into him and like, but we kissed 0 times.
Yeah.
Like there was no kissing. It was literally just all talking, but this crazy chemistry that I can't even describe. It was
Yeah.
such a cliche, but so magical, like high school romance budding into something that like we didn't know what it was.
Totally. I think the biggest moment, remember like, so we literally like, we were watching the stars.
We literally were watching the stars.
And like I have like so many cheesy quotes from that night, I'll spare you. Literally like one of the things like we always say is, oh, it's 10:42. A lot of people are like 11:11, make a wish. And there was at one point like I looked at my watch and it was 10:42, and I looked over. It's like, I'm Jack Schaefer. Like, it's nice to meet you, Mac Dingle.
Yeah,
That's-
that was
that's a
really
big infamous
magical
quote.
because
Yeah.
I think that we were like laying under the swing set or whatever and like looking up at the stars and we were like, when did we actually meet? This is crazy. I don't remember when we actually met. And that's when Jack looked over at me and he said, well, looked at his watch, he goes, it's 10:42. It's nice to
Exactly.
meet you, Mac Dingle. And I said, it's nice to meet you, Jack
Jack
Schaefer.
Schaefer, yeah.
It was just like, it was little moments like that. Like you guys are probably like puking right now because this is so like gross.
Yeah,
but-
typical high school. But
yeah, but
hey.
it was our story. feel like this is where it all officially started, and it was just like, everyone knows, like regardless of like where your significant other and you like met or started, like the butterflies of finding someone that you know.
Gosh, yeah. They're like second to none feeling.
Oh my god. So the night I was going to close, my mom had called and it was getting pretty late. The park was closing, etc. And so Jack was walking me out to my car. It was official. Like I knew that this was like an actual thing now. Like he broke through that wall. I was like, I will allow myself to like think this. It was just so perfect and everything was so magical. I expected him to try to kiss me, but I did let him know that I don't kiss anybody that isn't my boyfriend, because I don't.
Those flashback to like awkward high schoolers, right? And we're just like standing around talking and like leaning, and we're both like
laughing.
We're both like waiting there
for someone
something.
to do
yeah,
something.
Yeah, exactly. And like I couldn't do anything because I was such a little chicken shit. So in my mind, it was like, just ask her.
You're saying this entire time.
You're
like,
saying more words in your head than you are like to her right now. I couldn't, like, I don't know. It didn't.
Yeah.
It never came out.
So he never asked me, and you also never kissed me because like you knew I wouldn't kiss you.
Exactly.
Like, somehow the night ended. We went our separate ways. We hugged goodbye. I do remember that.
Goodbye.
Like,
yeah,
but it wasn't just like a friend hug. Like I like leaned into you and you like held me for a second, and that was like, oh. And so I went home elated. Like I was convinced. Like I wasn't convinced I met the love of my life, but like I was like, I found him. Like whatever that means. Like I did. I found him.
I think we left, we got home, and we started texting each other.
Yeah, we literally started texting each other right away.
Immediately.
So we like fell asleep.
Starting to talk about like the next time we would hang out, which was literally
maybe
5 days later.
Yeah, like not even actually. We saw each other at school and stuff like that because everything was getting out and graduating. And so we had like random things that we had to go to, but there wasn't any classes. So like we'd meet up at like, you know, the ceremony like practice, or like, you know, we had to go pick up our robes, so we like would go do that, but not like hang out. We like met up a week later at another playground.
That's where I officially asked you. And I could get words out that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could, and I asked her if she wanted to be my girlfriend. I think more specifically, if you wanted to be my princess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I said yes. That is our story. You guys might be confused as to why we call it, or it's known to us as the non-date dates. That is what Jack and I call it, and our families call it, because right as we were heading out the door for our date at the park, the very first one,
our parents asked, so what is it? Is it a date?
And I said, no, we're just hanging out.
And I said, yes. Hence, the name.
The non-date date. So that is the story of our first date, and obviously how Jack officially asked me to be his girlfriend.
How he officially, finally asked.
Yeah. So that is the story of our first non-date date, and how Jack and I became official.
Like there's many?
Oh no, like our first date, that's not a date. Next up in our story series type of thing that we are doing on here, we are going to tell our long distance story. Jack and I did long distance for too long. Yeah, just like 2 years, too long. It was really hard, and possibly one of the hardest things that I've gone through as part of like our relationship and things like that.
Yeah.
And I know like he felt the same.
Absolutely.
It was really difficult, but for those of you wondering about that difficult part of our relationship and how we got through it, and also if people are going through long distance themselves, stay tuned for that episode because it's gonna be next.
Oh yeah.
Catch you guys next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.